tingling.
Namato Ratana Tayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello, good evening everyone. So today is Sunday the 29th of November 2020, and this is Ajahn Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. As usual, I'm here with you all tonight. First of all, apologies for a few minutes delay because of shaving my head. Tomorrow is full moon, and in our practice, every full moon, before one day before full moon, we normally shave our head. Some tradition do shave 15 days, but in our tradition that I've been practicing, we normally shave for every month, one day before the full moon. Meanwhile, and particularly in Thai tradition, we have to shave our eyebrows, and sometimes people were asking about it, that why do I have to shave my eyebrows. I remember when I became a novice, the temple where I became a novice was or is influenced by the Thai tradition, and you have to shave your eyebrows too. And then when I decided to become a novice, now this is about over 20 years ago, my sister-in-law told me saying that you may have to shave your head, but would it be okay not to shave my eyebrows? But the tradition is such that once you are into that any particular tradition, you have to follow certain rites and rituals or etiquettes. So similarly, I had to cut my eyebrows. You may see the difference between other monks, like Burmese monk, Sri Lankan monk, and then they will not cut their eyebrows. Even in India and Nepal, they do not cut or shave their eyebrows. So this is a marker to define or to see the difference between Thai monks and other monks. So whenever you meet any monks, you can see their eyes, and if their eyebrows are shaved, and then they are following the Thai tradition. And the reason behind the shaving eyebrows, actually, according to the Vinaya, the monastic rule, we are not supposed to shave our hair of the bodies. And eyebrows probably categorize it into the hair of the body. But however, in Thailand, as a tradition since ancient time, probably about 300 years, about 300 to 400 years ago, it's been practicing and shaving eyebrows. And the reason behind shaving is that during that time there were a war between Burmese and Thai. And when in between, Burmese used monks as a spying in Thai. So as a result, somehow the Thai king came to know that the Burmese monks are disguised as a spy and giving information to the Burmese military or the kings. And with that, overnight the king summoned the rule issuing that all the monks or Thai monks should shave their eyebrows, so that will be different than any other monks who, if they have disguised in a monk as a spy, then they will be taken to the custody. And this tradition didn't stop and continue even today. The monks have to shave in their eyebrows, so that's why this is a different. You may notice next time if you see monks. And the reason behind cutting or shaving a head, again, according to the instructions the Buddha gave one monk, a monk can keep their hair up to 2 fingers. So up to 2 fingers, and quite long actually. But again, in Thailand, somehow they made another, set up a rule saying that every month, one day before the full moon, monks should shave their head. And there is again certain, small rules there that suppose the day before the full moon, and if you have any duties any religious duties to attend in the afternoon, then you should shave your head too. But if it's in the morning, then it's not necessary, but if possible, then should shave your head too. Like that. These are the small bits and pieces out there to follow, and this is basically for the unity in the community. And when someone has shaved their head and other monks haven't, then when you are there to perform the ceremonies, it's like not harmony. It's not nice, and so that's why it's been a tradition that every month or one day before the full moon, every monks will shave their head as a necessity. But again, having said that, there are many other monks who do saves different times, but they will not miss this one day before the full moon. Okay. And this again, I remember in a certain often I was invited to visit the schools in different places, even at the time when I was in England and here in Aberdeen, and in the schools. Was sometimes a question came asking that why do the monks have to shave their head? And my funny answer was, so we save hair conditioners, shampoos, so you don't have to worry about it. And it's easy. When you go for a shower, it's easy to clean yourself, like that. But again, anyway, in a technical term, this was done simply because hair is a symbol of a power and a dignity. That's why in the past people used to have long hairs and long beards as a sign of a power or a divine powers possessed. And also it's an identity of each individuals at the hair. And as a result, when Buddha introduced the tradition of a monastic tradition, then he simply introduced that we have to take away this power and this ego of how long hair have I got, or how much power have I got, or so kind of this identity. Just break away from it and purely free from your history, free from your background. So you're living your clan, your ethnicity, and your kind of beliefs, but exist in behind, and you come out with a new, fresh idea, a new, fresh identity as a monk. So that is the reason behind the saving the head. And again, in this case, if you look at the ladies, hairs are one of the precious things that one would have and spend so much money and so much time caring about the hair. and that is the reason why there are so many creams and lotions and conditioners for making your hair beauty, and you are so attached to it, and you will be playing with your hairs, and hair is a symbol of a beauty for the ladies, and this is how, once you cut your hair, then it's like you have transformed yourself into something, a new person. And as being a monk is basically you give up your clan, you give up your ethnicity, you give up your nationality, and even you are given a new name. You are given a new name. So basically you have left all the background behind, and you become reborn as a new person. So that's why a monk's age, if they are living within the monks, they ask your ordination day as the year of your years, rather than the birthday, the date of your birth. So suppose if a monk meets another monk and never met before, then this is etiquette that one monk should pay respect to another as a form of welcoming, and as a form of expressing our humbleness. Then normally we have to ask that how many years have you been a monk, or how old are you? And the question how old are you doesn't mean the day when you were born, but the day when you become the monk. Become a monk, and that's how you will be counted. Like me, and somebody asks me then how old am I, then I normally have to tell that 21 years old. So that means my ordination is 21 years old rather than my birth date. So like that. So you have a new name, you have a new birth, you have a new form, and that's the transformation of a person from the old to the new norms that one has to follow. And you have taken the vows that you will be following the monastic rules and following all those regulations, and always reflecting the giving up the old habits, and always appreciating and remembering that your life is sustained through the other's gift. So like that, that is the reason behind why monks are regarded as an exemplar who is living with less, and living with the heart of helping others, to help their wounds and hearts to be healed. So that is the reason behind that the monks are not allowed to go to work for their own earnings, and should not be charging for any services that monks provide to anybody else. But there is a purely a kindness and compassion, and with the good thought, kind thought of a helping mind to the rest of the other members. And this is being the example of a simple life, living a moderate life, and an ethical and moral living, and also heart of a helping mind, being the prime part of a monastic life, and which helps to people to feel confidence and feel that there is a place that we can rely on and have a confidence and gain merits after we have done something good. So that's why Buddha gave an example of a monastic order as a field which is well prepared for the cultivation. It's called a punyang ketang. So this is one of the greatest the land or the field which is cultivatable. Whoever comes into this monastic order again, it gives the rights, and when somebody do the meritorious deeds, giving a dana, as a generously giving things, then it gives more merits, and that's simply because of their honestly helping and be there for other people. So that is the monastic order, and again, you may have seen that in the pictures or somewhere, even in our shrine, we have a Buddha statue, and along with the Buddha statue there are a bunch of flowers. So particularly if you're visiting in a shrines, in Buddhist shrines, you will see the Buddha statue. Along with that, there are three things that should be noticeable. One is flower, second is incenses, and third is a candle. Flower is more common to understand, that this is a way of a worship and a veneration, but the story behind the offering the flower is the simile of a monastic order, because once you become a monk, or once you decided to join the monastic order, whether the monk or the nuns, at that time you simply become a one with the monastery, and so when you put the different kinds of flowers together in one jar, it makes so beautiful and harmony, and so wonderful to look at the flower. Similarly, monastic order is a combination of so many different backgrounds and different understanding, different knowledge and different qualities, and yet when they come together, it's become a one. So a jar is like a monastic codes that everyone has to follow, and because of everyone is following in accordance with the monastic code, doesn't matter where one came from, so we blend in together, and that's how brings the harmony in the community. So this is the significance of that. And secondly, the flower also signifies the changing nature. Doesn't matter how beautiful that flower is or was when you freshly bought it, but over the few days time, the flower will just decay and fades away, and all the petals will just fall down. Similarly, our life is also like that. When we were such a handsome and beautiful and energetic, but over the period of a time we just fade away, and at the end of the day we have to let go, basically embracing the death. So this is also a significance of the offering of flower, as a form of a learning that how fragile our life is, and it's not a permanent. And the second is incenses is signifying the nature of the Buddha, as the incenses, the three incenses, basically the purity, compassion, and wisdom of the Buddha. And the incense, when you lit it, the smell of incense will not classify to any group of people or group of or any ethnicity, but it will spread all around, wherever the wind will take it. But similarly, the Buddha's qualities of purity, compassion, and wisdom is more than the sense of the incenses, and because of the purity, compassion, and wisdom of the Buddha is known to so many and for so good. It's bringing so much light to so many people, and the smell of the teachings of the Buddha gradually spread, and the people can taste of it. And whereas the candles, 2 candles, normally we light the 2 candles, and that's again signifying the Dhamma, the teachings, the way. Like when we are going into the darkness, we have to have a light so that we will not be fall down onto the holes, or will feel safe and secure, and then we can walk with fearlessly. Similarly, here light signifies the light that is the teachings of the Buddha, because the whole samsara, this cycle of a birth and a death, is like a darkness, darkness of our kilesas, the taints, the influence, the external influencing our mind, so that so polluted, and we are traveling in this darkness of a samsara again and again and again and again. And a candle is like a light, the teachings of the Buddha, that is pointing us a way out from this darkness of the ignorance, and going back into the cycle of a birth and a death. So the two candles, one signifies the conventional truth and the second signifies the ultimate truth. We have to have this conventional truth to see the ultimate truth. And when we have a right understanding on the teachings of the Buddha, then we don't have to worry about anything in the future, what we will be. It's like in our life, when we have problems and we do not know what to how to solve this problem, and suddenly someone suggested or someone gave an idea that makes sense and the possibility of solving it, it's like a light arose. A light arose, and it's like you see the light at the end of the tunnel. So there is a hope of overcoming the suffering. So remember that there is always a way out in our life. Never think that we are stuck and there is no other choices at all. There always we have a choice to choose, and this requires a lot of concentration and wisdom that one has to develop. Once one has developed such, then definitely will be attaining that ultimate truth. So in terms of the conventional truth, whatever we see, whatever we hear, anything that on earth that we are experiencing is known as a conventional truth. In a Buddhist view, a Buddhist explanation, if we look at it, then we find that Chitta, Cetasika and Rupa, the three are: Chitta is a mind, Cetasika is a mind concomment, and Rupa, form. These are the conventional truth, whereas the Nibbana is the ultimate truth. And so this is how one should be studying and realize it. As long as we haven't understood these two truths, then we will simply wandering around again and again in this samsara, in the darkness. The very moment when we understood, then we realize. So we have attained the ultimate truth, ultimate goal. So that's why these are the three symbols. And basically my today, and I just wanted to tell you as it comes, and somehow coming into the concept of the sangha, how the monastic sangha builds and lives together, and how this brings the harmony, like the flower is coming together. So that is why, because the monks are trying to follow all the rules and regulations and practicing in accordance with the Buddha's teachings, and learning according to the teachings, and practicing and living exemplary life. People invite and also worthy of a veneration, worthy of respect, and worthy of offering. And that's the reason behind why Buddhists, particularly Buddhists, would come and offer things to the venerable monks in a hope of attaining more merits. and that will bring happiness in their current life and then future life. So this is just a few here and there, just a reflection for tonight. Thank you everyone for listening and joining with me tonight. Nothing much, but just here and there about the monastic order. So thank you, and may you all be well and happy. May the Buddha Dhamma Sangha bless you. In a few moments time we're going to have evening chanting and guided meditation will follow. Until then, good night and take care. Sadhu.